What's going on, people? It's your boy Forde. The transfer deadline day has now passed and we've not signed a single solitary soul. I don't know why we all sound surprised. I mean, this is Mike Ashley, for goodness sake. The guy that we've been around for, or has been in charge of the club for, what, 10 years now? And yet nothing has changed. Yes, the manager's changed. We've actually upgraded. We've actually got a superb, world-class manager with all the accolades, highly regarded, highly respected from all across the globe, not just at Newcastle, but all across the globe. But yet we can't back him financially like he needs to be, like he's promised. And now, well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens, really. So I'm going to try and run through the whole transfer window in brief, because I know you've got things to do, and at the same time it's painful to listen and watch as well. So I must point out though, we've not signed a single player in the last 2 weeks. Hosley was the last guy to come in around about the 16th of August. And obviously now it's the 1st of September, so we've not signed a single player in the last 2 weeks of the window. Amazing for a club that's just got promoted from the Championship. Also, as we all know, Rafa's been let down. You know, the promises that have been made from Mike Ashley, saying that he can have every last penny that's been left over from, you know, the money that we've got from coming up, getting promoted from the Championship. I know that wasn't a lot. From player sales, shirt sales, commercial rights, TV money. I'm sure that's a fair bit. Now, once I get through the transfers, you'll see how much we was left with. Also, another thing to point out, another second pointless, not pointless should I say, a real letdown of a consecutive window. Remember, January was promised some money, or Rafa's promised some money as well. He wanted to go out and strengthen the side. Andros Townsend was the main name that kept popping up all the time. Didn't sign him. We could kind of get our head around that. You know, from what I was hearing, we was to save the money for the next window when we need to really strengthen, because we're going to be back in the Premier League before you know it. Here it comes round. Again, another letdown as well. And then the main thing I wanted to say is that the main mistakes were made early. You know, too many targets were missed, which I'm going to get into in a second, and we didn't really learn from that. And then after that, that was it. So starting off early from the start of the window, the main targets, I'm not going to run through all of them, but the main targets were Tammy Abraham, Ruben Semedo, and Willy Caballero. Those are the main three that we wanted to get in. Obviously, Tammy Abraham ended up at Swansea. Ruben Semedo, he didn't come to Newcastle United. He ended up at Valencia. And then Willy Caballero, he ended up at Chelsea. So again, we was already kind of doomed from there, because we really put in a lot of effort into trying to source those players. And obviously nothing materialised from there. And then after that, obviously we went on to sign 6 players. Christian Atsu being the first one. Obviously he was on loan with us the previous season before. Florent Lejeune, that one took a while. That took up to 8 weeks to sign someone that we was after for ages, and we already knew what his release clause was, but yet it took 8 weeks, 2 months to sign that. Oh God. Jacob Murphy, again, a player that we've been looking for a while now. He was on the list of wingers that we wanted to sign. You know, he scored against us, so we knew what he was all about. Again, he was a Newcastle United fan, so again, that kind of made the process a lot easier. We didn't have to really sell the club to him. We already knew what he was getting into. So he was signed from Norwich. And then Javier Manquillo, he was signed, obviously he was on loan at our neighbours Sunderland, and he was signed for £4.5 million. And then after that, Mikel Merino, again, he was kind of signed under the radar, similar to Manquillo. But from what I hear, that whole transfer was on the horizon for about 2 months, so even that took a long while to get over the line. And then the last one, as I said before, Hosley. I don't know if that was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction signing, because again, we needed a striker, but we signed him from Stoke, obviously after they signed Jose Rodriguez. And that was it. That was it. That was all 6. Now, I'm not going to go through all the outs. You can see them on screen right now. So again, there's a whole list of them. A couple to point out though, a couple noticeable ones. Vernon and need to let him go for nothing. I know his contract was coming to an end, but looking at the difference between Manquillo and Anita, we've downgraded, in my opinion, on that one. Really have downgraded on that one. Also, we finally let go of Florian Thauvin. Obviously, he went for £10 million. That really never came of anything, really. Matt Sells, again, We signed him only a season ago, and now he's on loan at Anderlecht. Daryl Murphy, again, quite a fan favourite. He's now at Nottingham Forest for £2 million, already paying back that transfer fee and some. Lewis Gibson, a transfer that not a lot of people have taken into consideration. We've got £6 million or up to £6 million for Lewis Gibson as well. Youngster who's come through our academy. And that is quite shocking as well, because I know I've gone on about it enough times, but someone who doesn't want to play at the club, who's from around the area, decides to go elsewhere, I think that starts to raise alarm bells. Now, the final week of the window, this is what you want to get into. We finally managed to get rid of Emmanuel Riviere. He's now at FC Metz, got around about £2 million for him. So job done, well done. Siem de Jong, again, he's had a really torrid time at Newcastle United, made a handful of appearances, some real nasty injuries, and now he's back at Ajax, and I genuinely wish him all the best for the future. Grant Hanley, he's now at Norwich City. So again, obviously when we got Lejeune, it's pretty much curtains for Grant Hanley, and now he's at Norwich City. And then the final day of the transfer window, Ashraf Lazar. Now, we talk about needing a left back, which I'll get into in a second, but we get rid of one in Ashraf Lazar. He's now at Benevento. And then the final nail in the coffin, our longest serving player up until now really, Tim Krul. Now, real fan favourite, you know, he's really taken to the area now. You know, he's been at the club for over 10 years. He's now rejoined, well, Chris Hughton really, rejoined with Chris Hughton. He's now at Brighton, who also got promoted with us. And in fact, we try and talk about compete, I can't get over this line, try and talk about competing with Manchester City. We can barely compete with the likes of Brighton, who in fact tried to get an extension to sign Vincent Janssen in the final hours of the window. That's how much they want to impress and how much they want to go for things in this transfer window. So that just says it all there right now. Now, getting on to the targets that we wanted to bring in the final day of the transfer window. So it's mainly left backs and a striker. We'll start with Kennedy. Obviously, we had a deal agreed in principle, I believe, about a week or two ago when Rafa was down on the whole Premier League launch. He spoke to Antonio Conte, and I think it was arranged and agreed, and then they kind of said no. Basically, they did a whole complete U-turn on it, and they didn't manage to sign someone to replace him. Yes, they got Zappacosta, who's a right wing back, but obviously, as we know, Kennedy plays on the left, so they didn't manage to replace Kennedy. So rightfully so, they thought, you know what, we're not going to let him go. We're going to keep him right here. So that was the end to that one. Matt Targett was the big name for the day. I know, big name, but at the same time, he's a third choice left back for Southampton. He was apparently on the way to Newcastle, and obviously did a U-turn and say, look, that's not happening. Apparently there was a disagreement in terms of the length of stay. He wanted to be here for 6 months. We wanted him for a season. I still can't get my head around why don't we just take him for the 6 months and wait till Dummett gets back, and maybe by the time it gets to the January transfer window, then negotiate for either him to stay longer or get someone else in. Doesn't make no sense to me whatsoever. But again, that didn't come about at all. Striking options, as we know, we're very light on that. Obviously, Mitrovic is serving a 3-match ban now. That starts with immediate effect. Dwight Gale, who I'll get into in a second, was linked to other clubs, i.e. Fulham. So we tried to get in the likes of Origi, obviously went off to Germany with Wolfsburg, and then even Noak Remy was mentioned. He's now at Las Palmas from what I understand. And Lucas Perez was the main one from Arsenal, but he wanted to go back to Spain despite us offering more money and Everton offering more money. He is now back at Deportivo on a season-long loan. So that puts a bed to that one as well. And then, as I was saying, one of the positives that we managed to keep Dwight to go at the club. Now, for some strange reason, we wanted to get rid of him. Maybe just to raise funds, but at the same time, for someone who was our top goal scorer last season, albeit in the Championship, we wanted up to £20 million from Fulham. And we was really willing to get rid of him to get in another striker, which I find just disappointing in itself. Really disappointing. But again, he's here. That's one of the main positives from the window. Other main positives from the window, I must have to say, we've still got Rafa. He's still here. He's not quit yet. I mean, as this video is going out, I hope it doesn't change. But Rafa's the main, he's the main positive for today. Main positive from this window, main positive for this past 12 or so months that he's been here. He's here, he's got all the fans on the side despite everything that's going on above him. Oh gosh. I really hope he sticks out throughout the whole season, and I've been told that he's not going to quit. He's not a quitter. He's here for the project, he's here for the fans, but at the same time there's only so much a man can take. Another positive, I suppose, is that we managed to get rid of all the dead wood. We have shifted upwards of 200k per week, you know, with all the transfers that we've got rid of, either via on loan or permanently. 200k is 200k, so again, that's off the wage bill, and over time that should accumulate to a healthy amount. But hopefully that's just not just sitting in Mike Ashley's bank balance or whatever. Hopefully that goes towards transfers either in January or the following transfer window after that. I'm gonna have to go through the negatives, and obviously you might think the whole video has been a negative up until now, but I have to go through the negatives. I don't think we've really strengthened. I really don't. I think we've still got the same sort of squad that we've had going into the championship. If you look at the ins, Atsu is already here, so that's not really a plus or a minus. Lejeune, yes, he's an upgrade on Hanley, but again, maybe we needed another centre half. Jacob Murphy, again, he probably just replaced Florian Thauvin. Again, it's yet to be seen whether Jacob Murphy does excel to be the player that we want him to be. Manquillo, for me, is a downgrade on Vernon Anita. I really detest that whole kind of switch around where Anita's off at Leeds and we've got Manquillo. In his first 3 games, he's been woeful. Going forward, yes, but defensively, as a defender, defend first, offence is second for me. Mikel Merino, yes, one of the highlights is he's had a good game against West Ham, but he had a really bad game, should I say, against Huddersfield. So again, the jury's still out on that one. And then Hosselu, again, upgrade on Darryl Murphy. Who knows? So again, have we really upgraded? We still needed another striker. Rafa was still going for another left back. He wanted another keeper. We've got rid of 2 now. As I said, you let me know. You let me know. And the last one I was going to say is that Rafa just feels let down. You know, it's all over the papers that he's been let down. You wouldn't think that this is a guy that's coached at the highest level. Napoli, Inter Milan, Chelsea, Liverpool, you know, and now, sorry, even Real Madrid. Have I missed Real Madrid out as well? And now he's at Newcastle United. Now we're treating him like he's a guy who's coming into his first job. He's been around the block. He's been there, done that, bought a t-shirt, and yet we still can't trust him with the funds to make these things happen. So I don't know. That's it from me, guys. I noticed that this time is rolling on now, so I'm gonna cut it from here, but I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. I'll see you guys all soon. Keep it tuned. Peace.